Okay, I wasn't sure if I was going in and out. All right, our members at large, we have the wonderful Dr. Keela Johnson and Ms. Brittany McDuffie. You guys have to make sure you come to our summit. Brittany, she does an amazing job of presenting. Then we also have our two newest board members. We have Ms. Margaret McCall and Ms. Bridget Willis. So thank you, board members, for being a part of this organization and supporting our vision and goal as we move into 2023. As Dr. Bisa mentioned, there's always opportunities to participate in events and activities, and this is your chance now to act, because we are currently looking for a board treasurer, someone to fulfill my shoes, and we're looking for someone who the minimum requirement is definitely becoming a member for a minimum of 1 year. But when it comes to the treasurer, we're looking for someone who has that finance background, potentially someone who has a small business, because carrying that role does have a lot of responsibility, but we want to make sure someone is in that role that can continue to support our grants and our partnerships moving forward. We also need a vice chair to support me. So we're definitely looking for 2 positions. We have 2 vacancies. Our board does consist of 10 members with 9 voting members and 1 member not being part of the vote, which enroll. So I am going to place the link in the chat for those who are interested. If that description is someone you know, please don't hesitate to share the information with them. We did receive a few applications, and thank you for those who are on the call that applied, but we just need a little more out there. So again, we're looking for treasurers, 1 treasurer and 1 vice chair. Minimum requirement, member for 1 year. We just need you to be sure that you're able to attend events once a year, and as well as our board meetings at least once a year. Thank you all so much for all the work that you do.
Thank you so much, Tatiana, for being our awesome board chair, for just being here all this time. You guys, 5 years we've been running this, right? Since May of 2018, and Tatiana's been right by my side. So, as well as Debbie and Kedar, they have been on the board the longest, those 3. So thank you to for all the work that you guys are doing. A couple of things I want to add to what Tatiana said. The biggest requirement for the board that may be, something that you will want to know is that you have to be a member for at least 1 year. You have to be a member for at least 1 year to be on the board. So, and then for treasurer, I want you all to know, it's really important, that we actually have an amazing accounting service. So, I know that's one thing Tatiana always appreciated as a treasurer. You don't have to do the organization's actual accounting, but again, more than one set of eyes needs to be on information, makes us feel more comfortable, and it's, of course, it's legal. So we want to make sure that we have another person, like I said, to help look at the once a month documents that we receive from the accountant and just all of those pieces. So I just wanted to share that a little bit for those of you guys who are wondering if you have that background. And then, of course, vice chair, she mentioned. So thank you to our board. All right. So before I get into this, me checking on your Q1 progress, I want to hear from the people who are new to BCDI-Atlanta. And we're gonna let you share, okay? So if you take about just 1 minute or so briefly, tell us why you're here. What made you decide to join us tonight? And I wanna give a shout out to, I won't say names just yet, I'll let them tell you when they introduce themselves, but I met some wonderful professionals, you guys, recently at the SRCD conference in Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah, a couple of weeks ago. And it's the Society for Research on Child Development. Y'all, we have some sharp folks out there who are just doing it, just at these different universities, know how to research, they're writing. I love the academicians. So I'm excited to have some folks who did accept the invite and they joined. So please unmute yourself. And I'm going to start with Megan because Megan was here first. So Megan, tell us what made you join us tonight.
Hi, well, thank you for having me. I actually found out about this organization from my current graduate assistantship at the University of Georgia. I recently migrated from Athens to Dallas, Georgia, so I'm closer to the Atlanta area, and just looking for opportunities to get involved in this area because my research area really focuses on the child development of African American youth. So just looking for opportunities to get engaged.
Thank you, and go dogs. Who else? So I'll let you guys just go for it. Whoever wants to go next.
I
can go. Oh, hey, Lauren.
Chris, you can go. It's fine.
Okay, I'll jump in real quick. Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Collins. I'm one of those individuals that met Dr. Lewis at Dr. Bisa at at SRCD. I attended a session that Dr. Austin, I believe, was on the panel and had a chance to meet both those individuals. So I as well am a PhD student at University of Georgia in Human Development and Family Sciences. That's what I do full-time. I'm a full-time student and graduate research assistant. Prior to being a full-time student, I worked for Boys and Girls Clubs in Metro Atlanta for about 12 years or so in various roles, out as a part-time computer lab instructor and working my way all the way up to an executive director where I oversaw my own site and staff. So I've followed the organization from a distance, kind of known about it for a little while, but after I met Dr. Bisa at the SRCD, I was like, you know what, it's time to get engaged. And so I was invited to the meeting and I'm here. So I'm glad to be here.
It's so divine. Chris, I'm so happy you and Megan were able to join us. And it was such a pleasure to meet you all. And those of you guys who don't know Dr. Austin yet, she's our national board president and CEO. So she's the national, the BCDI president and CEO. And before the next person shares, I want to go ahead and get you guys started on this so you can start typing in the chat. I want to know, and I'm coming back to intros. I want to know your Q1 progress in 2023. You know, it's important to have a word of the year. My word is enjoy with the J-O-Y bolded here on social media. I say with a capital J-O-Y. But joy is important, and y'all know we can grind and be workaholics. And this year I don't want to sing that song. I want 2023 to be a year where I'm not grinding, I'm not a workaholic, but I'm enjoying. I have harmony. My word last year was harmony. I did better with building work-life harmony. But this year, again, I want to enjoy more and do things other than just business all the time. So I have had a great 2023. I've been home to my hometown more often, seeing my mom, my brother, family more, just really making great use of my weekends. And so that's just a quick update from Q1. I feel like I'm really enjoying this year. I've been doing karaoke, y'all. I've been actually having a good time because we know that this work can be very serious, right? And we want to have some fun and laughter in our lives. So 2023 is off to a great start. I am enjoying it. So now's your opportunity to put in the chat for us, what's your word for 2023? If you don't have one, it's a great time to create one. What is your word? And then give us an update on your first quarter 2023 in the chat while we continue with our introductions of our first time attendees. And I also want to invite any new members to introduce themselves as well. Nathan, I believe you were next. Nathan, you still here? Oh, I thought I heard you talk. You're muted, Nathan.
Okay, sorry, I'm not used to doing this on the phone. I was only able to connect on the phone. Hi, everyone. I'm Nathan Thompson. I'm really excited to be here. I was actually really inspired at the summit to get involved. And it's kind of like Chris, I've known about the organization from a distance. I've been a member for a year, and I work with Rollins. That's my day job. I'm a birth through 5 facilitator. Been in the birth through 5 field for 23 years about now, I think, in different roles. I used to work with Denise and at right from the start. So just really excited. The mission of this organization is really in line with my values. And I always say that I think myself, I'm an activist before I'm an educator. Sometimes it goes the other way, and that's okay. But for me, I'm an activist first. So absolutely excited to be here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Nathan. So we were happy to see you at the summit, right? Face to face again, finally. And so happy you were able to join us tonight. Who's next?
I can go if nobody else is speaking. Hi.
Yeah. Mhm.
Hi, everybody. My name is Loren Morton. I'm a fourth-year doctoral student at the University of Georgia. I was also at SRCD, but unfortunately I couldn't make the presentation, but Chris shared with me the wonderful work and how great the presentation was. And similar to him, I also was familiar with the work that you all did, but my research focuses on Black children and their educational outcomes and the development. So I wanted to get more involved and learn more about work here.
Thank you. I'm so happy you were able to join us as well. Listen, we are right down the street in Gwinnett County, so let us know when you're ready for a coffee.
Absolutely.
All of you guys. All right, who's next? Is there anyone else? Let's see.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Dr. Lewis. It's Amber Stansberry from George Mason, and I see my colleague, Loren Morton, on the line. It's good to be with y'all.
So happy you were able to join us too, Amber. Amber is on the, Amber, what do you have a title, right, on the Black Caucus, the SRCD Black Caucus?
I am. Oh my gosh, I'm newly elected as the student representative. Yes, thank you so much for acknowledging me.
Thank you for joining us. And you said George Mason, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. I'm a PhD candidate and I'll be collecting data. So I'm starting. Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys, George Mason University is a friend of the organization. They process the CEUs often for NBCDI, but also our great friend, Dr. Yoma Aruka, is Amber's chair. So she's her doctoral chair. So we have to give a shout out to Yoma as well. We got a chance to hang out with her at the summit, at the conference. All right. Keela? Oh, no, hey, you just cut your hair.
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Good. Am I missing anyone? Okay.
Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Keela Allen. I am a third-year doctoral student at the University of Georgia, also studying Black child development and the schooling experiences, as well as parental involvement. I've heard about the organization and the work, and unfortunately, I couldn't make the presentation as well, but I talked to Chris about it and he got me linked. So I'm just happy to join and be with you all this evening.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Keela. You guys came in strong. SRC, I love it.
Yeah.
Are we missing anyone else? This is an important moment. I don't want to miss anyone. And team, thank you guys for letting everyone out of the waiting room. All right. If we missed you, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. And again, thank you all for joining us. I'm going to ask someone from the team or the board to share with us from the chat the updates from quarter 1. So who would like to volunteer to do that for us? I'd like to offer more than one voice on these events, these meetings. Everybody
All
want?
right.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
You know, if nobody will, I will, Dr. Bisa.
Please, thank you, Shalita. Yes.
Oh, no problem. So we have from Nathan, his word for 2023 first quarter is restore. He doesn't have an explanation, but his word is restore. Carol Daniels, accountability. And then she put an explanation, not as accountable to myself as I should be, but getting back on track. Monique has growth as her word, and I believe it was one more person. No, I think that's it thus far.
Nathan,
no.
Yeah, go ahead.
I see Nathan's explanation. Now, I've been intentional about test and restoration. I've said I still have work to do in this area. One way that I've approached this restoration is by doing one thing at a time and pausing. Amazing. And then we have Erica, intentional. And Nathan just corrected us and said, rest. You needed some rest. Pausing is rest, Nathan. So I like that. So that's all we have thus far, Dr. Bisa.
Thank you all for sharing. Again, if you don't have a word of the year, consider it. It definitely gives you something to check in with yourself on. And I usually, again, once a quarter, try to do a self-assessment to see where I am. We have another, Dr. Sheila Thompson from Mercer University. She says, believe. I love that word, believe. Nothing is impossible, right? What does impossible mean?
Nothing.
I'm possible.
Possible.
I'm possible. That's what impossible means. I love it. Thank you all. All right, so we have a little unfinished business we want to get to. Then Sharlita again will share some feature programs, and then you will hear from our awesome guest speaker, Denise Jensen from DeKalb. So first, we always like to update you on membership. Our membership goal is 600. And you guys, y'all know I am not going to let go of this 600, especially as big as Atlanta alone is. We know we consider the whole state of Georgia. We try to work with the entire state, but also we have a lot of members from out of state because there's not an affiliate in every state. There are 24 NBCDI affiliates, and I believe about 22 are really active. So some states who don't have an affiliate or they love what we're doing, they will join our affiliate. So there's no reason why we can't meet this goal, but it takes who? All of us, right, to share the word and let people know how they can get involved. We've had 19 new members since our January meeting, and that's okay. But for us, we usually have more than that. So make sure you guys are getting the word out and letting people know how they can become a member. We're still between us and Chicago, and Charlotte's also climbing. We have been the largest affiliate for a long time. So not sure what the current numbers are. But hey, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality of the work that we're doing. But we still we know that we're stronger when we have more people, and that way we can balance the work. The national office is their goal is 1 million members. So they'll be pushing that soon. So if national's goal is 1 million, and there are 24 affiliates, I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't meet this, 600. And I tell you what often happens, because we've had thousands of members, when people's renewal comes up, they don't always renew, or they forget what email address they use, or they don't work there anymore, or they graduated and they don't have access and they can't log in. And then they'll just say, oh, forget it, So, but some people do reach out to us. We connected with National, and they reset it, and they have a new email address and a new login. So if you or anyone else has an issue trying to log in, you can have them contact us. Just go to our website and they can use the contact form there. That's the easiest. Or if you can remember, info@bcdiatlanta.org, info@bcdiatlanta.org again, or just send them to the website. So that's information about membership. And I am so excited about this. Now, in January, I shared with you all that we were locally working on our own membership communication networking system, because we wanted to engage with our network more, our members more. Well, y'all, so excited to hear from NBCDI during our recent president's meeting that they have invested in a new membership management system. It's called Glue Up. And they'll be training everyone on it. The presidents, we have a training coming up in next month, but they're going to launch it this summer. And look what it has. Not only this is where people will join. The system they're using now is just not as efficient, and they've had it for a long time. And you guys know tech companies come and go, to be honest. So does technology and different types of software. So Glue Up is one of the great platforms that does everything. It's an all-in-one system. So it has a community engagement suite, which is the primary reason we were working on our own. And it also has event management software. You can send newsletters through it. It is such a wonderful system. And I'm just, again, over the moon excited about it. So this is a change from what you heard me say at the January meeting, because at the January meeting, we were already in the middle of development of our own system. But hey, I backed off of it, and I'm excited about engaging with the national office in this particular system, as well as the other affiliates. So Glue Up is coming, and just stay tuned. If you're a member, then you should also be getting NBCDI emails in addition to ours, BCDI Atlanta. If you're not, again, go to our contact page or email us at info@bcdiatlanta.org, and I can make sure that we get you the support you need to get their newsletter as well. Our platform. So nationally, NBCDI has been around since who knows what year? 1970. NBCDI has been around since 1970. BCDI-Atlanta was founded in 1981. And so the national network, all the affiliates around the country, we accept and honor these 6 focus areas from NBCDI: public policy, early care and education, health and wellness, family engagement, literacy, and child welfare. Our children and families need all the things, right? Well, here's the thing. As we are in the community working, what we have decided as an organization, and this is not new to many of you, but to those of you all who are joining us for the first time, it's new. So of the 6 focus areas, these are the 3 that BCDI-Atlanta has decided to make our goals for through 2025. Early care and education, literacy, and family engagement. And we'll share a little bit of the work with you today. The great thing about us focusing on these 3 is that I'm going to back up to those 6 again. Even with those 3 we're focusing on, we still focus on public policy because we embed that work within the early care and education programs. We still focus on health and wellness because in our family engagement program, we implement programs such as Good for Me through the national office. So, and also child welfare. Children's lives are better. We work with child serving organizations and social workers as well. So even though we're not focusing primarily on all 6, we're focusing on these 3, we are still meeting the needs in all 6 focus areas. So in early care and education, primarily we're working on workforce. You'll hear a little bit about that tonight. Workforce is important. Before the pandemic, there was a teacher shortage. Since the pandemic, it's worse, right? So workforce is huge, and diversifying the workforce is also important, as well as leadership in the workforce. We want to see more representation at the higher tables and in the higher positions. And then literacy is also important to us because we want to make sure children are ready to read by 3rd grade. And so literacy is one of the 3 that we chose to truly focus on. And again, you'll hear more shortly from Dr. Sharlita about what we've been doing with literacy. Family engagement. Powerful Families is our premier program in the organization, and Powerful Families is a 2-generation innovation approach. And so with this Powerful Families program, we're able to work with families directly. We love working with community. And not only are we working with them directly, at the same time, we're showing the early educators in their lives how to work with them as well. So we're showing people, we're modeling it for them, how to appropriately work with Black children and families, the family engagement piece. Because in our communities, there are some needs that may not be, everyone may not know. And we're the organization to do that and support that work. So you'll hear a little bit more from Dr. Sharlita tonight. How do we do all of this? That's the question I get in most of the leadership meetings. How do y'all do all of that? Well, I wanted to update you on our team. So Sharlita and I are the 2 who are the 2 real actual staffers. And we have over 15 contractors, y'all. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. We love our contractors because we're able to get our social media done. If you follow us on social media, the posts are done every day. We have a great social media team. We have a great marketing team who does more than social media. They help with the website, which is currently under reconstruction. I got an all-day meeting about that tomorrow. You'll see a lot of changes to the website. And also just our whole marketing structure. It's a business. So we have a team to support, a big team for marketing. We also have a team of coaches, different types of coaches, family engagement coaches, education coaches. So, and then I mentioned accounting as well. So our team, you guys, is amazing. And in the last couple of groups I mentioned that we have on our team, we have a great grant support team, whether it's writing grants. Each month we get together and review each grant so we can have all the data ready, not just when the reports is reporting time, but every month. I like to make sure that every grant we're updated, not just with the finances, but with the goals and the impact. So we have a great grant management team, and we have an awesome assessment and evaluation team. I love them, y'all. They are awesome. So we are doing a lot better at telling our story in 2023. We've been so entrenched in the work, but our goal this year is to do a better job at telling our story as an organization so that people can know more and see more when it comes to the work that we're doing. So that is an update on our team. This is where we are. We're not hiring a new, we no longer have a senior director of program development, and we're not filling that position. But we are hiring an admin person, a new admin person. So keep that on your radar. And the newsletter will be out tomorrow to the newsletter, and they'll have more information. I am turning it over to Dr. Shalita Lawrence, our Director of Programs.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bisa. It is my pleasure. I'm elated to even share the wonderful work we are doing at BCDI-Atlanta with the programs and working with our community. So the first program that I'm going to talk about tonight is, go ahead, Dr. Bisa, I think I can share. Can I? Yeah, if I can. There you go. Powerful Families. Now, as Dr. Bisa said, Powerful Families is the umbrella of all the programs that we are doing. So it says BCDI-Atlanta Powerful Families focus on creating opportunities for and addressing the needs of both children and their families. That's the 2-Jan work we do. We don't just work with the children, we also work with the families, because I've learned in life, and I've been in education almost 40 years now, and I know I look young, but thank you. We've figured out that if you work with just the children, but the families are not progressing, then the children will lose out in the end. So we work with both the families and the children together to create improved family economic stability. And there's 3 goals we always work with, and it's called Every Day I'm Learning, Moving On Up, and it's one more, Every Day I'm Learning, Moving On Up, and it's gonna come to me. Okay, but there's 3 goals we talk about every time. Family matters. Thank you. Family matters. So we work on those 3 goals, and working on those 3 goals, we invite people to come and talk about different areas like family matters. We may get someone from the credit agency to come and teach them and show them about their credit score, because everybody, doesn't know how to maintain a good credit score. Some people don't even know what their credit score are. So we invite people in to come and work with them, and then they get free counseling, financial counseling on building their credit. So that's basically about our Powerful Families program that we have put as our umbrella. So now I'm going to tell you about a few programs that kind of sit under Powerful Families. So this year under Powerful Families, we do it different every year. Let me tell you something about BCDI-Atlanta. We've moved from 1 step to the next 3 steps. We always elevate our work. No year's the same, but every year gets better and better. So this year we had a curriculum called FAP, Family Empowerment Program, very intensive program. So this was from NBCDI. It builds the capacity of parents and leaders of their families, equipping them to build the capacity of their children as learners and effectively advocate for them from birth. Even though some children might have been 3, we still went back and taught them how you could have done it from birth, and moving forward, how to do it with your children. So it was an amazing program. I'm gonna tell you some stats about that program and what people said about it as we move forward. So the next program we'll talk about is Read to Succeed. Now, NBCDI again, Read to Succeed program is designed to promote early literacy. Very important, because we don't want the statistics about how many prison beds are going to be brought up because children don't know how to read by 3rd grade. Guess what? We're reaching them now. We're doing it because it's very important that they get enough literacy, enough books that show us in the books and other books. So we make sure that we promote early literacy and language development by supporting blank, 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 blank. You went past, that's okay. So this year was our first year. There you go. Thank you, Dr. B. So language development by. So this year we was only supposed to have 20 participants. You know us, we go over and beyond. We had 22 participants. Total hours of instruction was 24 hours. Total session was 12 hours. Numbers of books distributed to these families were 430. Backpacks, as you see those beautiful backpacks, each participant received 2 backpacks backpacks. The bright yellow we're used to, and also an awesome blue. And we gave out 44 of those backpacks. So again, let's just talk about the program highlights. We have an online literacy course that people can join on BCDI Atlanta. Make sure you follow us on bcdiatlanta.org, and you can see all the programs that we have. So we're going to talk about Read to Succeed a little bit more, and some more powerful families. Notes that they wrote about the FEP program as we progress. All right. So in Read to Succeed, we had to just do 3 community events. They were giving us the basics of Read to Succeed. Here we go again, BCDI Atlanta. We had to take it beyond, because that's who we are, because we take seriously what we do with families and children. So I don't know if you were there. I know, Nathan, you said you were there, so you probably can say about it, say it just as much as I say about that 4th summit that we had. It was totally amazing. We had such great reviews about the presenters, about the workshops, the breakout sessions, the keynote speaker. And at that, we supplied more backpacks. That was a hot commodity. It was like getting gas from the gas station. Everybody wanted the backpack. And in every backpack, there was 10 books for each participant. Then next event, community event, we had a reading rally. Oh, it was amazing. We teamed up with Malcolm Mitchell, which is an NFL player for the, I believe the England or something, the Patriots, I believe that's the name. And he was on that, and he told his story about how when he was a child, he was afraid to read in class, you know, because of the big words, or the sentence might have been so long. So here we are, a young man that came from that point in his life, is now an author. So he joined up with Fulton County Schools. We had, I believe, 130 children we wanted to reach, but we reached more, where he read his book, and he also brought a magician to entertain the children. But the reading rally was a competition of how many books and how many minutes could have been read from the Fulton County and YMCA students. So this was an amazing event, and every child received his book entitled My Very Favorite Book in the World, in the Whole Wide World. He read that to the children and shared his books with every student that was there. You see how we're building up literacy with our families. There's a nice picture of him holding up his book. Beautiful Dr. Bisa, a parent, and her child, and others that joined us on that day. But it was very successful to see the amount of children and teachers we reached on that one day with Mr. Malcolm and BCDI Atlanta. There we go, look. So I said we were supposed to reach 130. And one thing on the Read to Succeed said reach at least 150. Look at our numbers for Read to Succeed literacy. Children, we gave out 3,120 books to families. Now that's a round of applause for BCDI Atlanta. Families, parents, and caregivers, we gave out 700 books. And for others, that may be another part of our community that was in CDA classes, other child development centers that we weren't directly working with, because we was working with YMCA, Shelter in Arms, and Fulton County Schools. We even gave them 300 books. I tell Dr. Bisa all the time, she's like the text service, free, 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 free. There are the gift bags we gave out to the families. And again, there's the backpack. And that's our president of NBCDI's son, Leah Austin. He came to the summit and got the bag, and look at him walking to school with the bag. Proud owner of a BCDI Atlanta backpack.
I love that, Dr. Shalita. When we were at SRCD, Dr. Leah Austin, our national president and CEO, she said, you know, my son, he carries that backpack to school every single day. I said, that makes us feel cool, because he's in elementary school. So that, again, that makes us feel like we chose the right backpack. So we've been giving those out about 3 or 4 years now. So
yes,
great. Thank you, Shalita.
No problem. So as I was telling you about the FEP program that we had on the Powerful Families this year, these are some of the things that, and these are people that just the first time ever came training with BCDI. But this is some of the wonderful things they said about us. One mother said, I felt as if I was not a good mom to my boys until I took this training. That touched us. It touched us to the core, that she felt like she wasn't doing what she's supposed to do. But within those 12 sessions, she said, now I know I'm a great mom. So, and then we had one that said, I had no one to help me with raising my boys. She's from Africa, so she's here in the United States by herself. So she said, I felt alone with help, having no one to help me. She said, this training had taught me new techniques on how to advocate for them. Great words from our families. I'm grateful to the presenters and BCDI-Atlanta for this awesome opportunity to learn how to work with my child. And the last one says, I love the homework. Now, who loves homework? But because the homework was so interactive and so much fun, this parent said, I love the homework and the thought about setting goals. Every week in every session, we said, don't forget to set your short-term goals. Don't forget to set your long-term goals. And this parent said, and the thought about setting goals for my family, both short and long-term goals, was exciting to them. So I'm saying to you all, this is just the beginning, and the best is yet to come for BCDI-Atlanta. So I wanted to just share those programs with you, but we have so many more. But we wanted to share Good for Me and Family Empowerment Program with you tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Lawrence. You guys, these programs are key, and one reason why you heard Shalita, we talk about family empowerment, family engagement, and literacy together is because this is how we are started to do our programming. We have started to not offer fragmented programming, if you will. We were operating about 10 different programs, like even up through summer last year, 10 different programs. Because funders will often come with an agenda of we're offering funding for ABC. And so we ended up having, again, 10 different programs. We're not doing that anymore. That's why I mentioned those 3 goals: early literacy, family engagement, early care and education. If their goals don't fit in with ours and doesn't fit into the program we're doing, we're not adding on new things unless, again, it's a benefit to the current program. Because what happens is you have a variety of quantities of programs, but you don't have the quality because they're operating separately. But in this one family engagement program, families were able to set their education goals, career goal, as well as their personal/family goal, as Shalita said. And they were able to get books, go to a conference. They have online training they can access anytime for free. It's self-paced. All of that was important for us. So we're not just meeting one need, we're meeting multiple needs. And then lastly, I'll share the blue backpack that you saw that they were gifted. The cool thing about that backpack, it had a variety of tools in it, not just literacy. So we got a chance to support all of their educational goals in different domains. So that's how we are working. The last program I want to share with you all before we bring on Denise Jensen from DeKalb is Expand ECE. This is the project that we are currently planning. It's not really new, but the goals are a little different. So we started Expand ECE in 2021, and at that particular time, we were looking to advance leadership, Black leadership in early care and education. And so we held a fellowship program. We also did a 5-part series. You guys probably remember that 5-part series with Dr. Deborah Sullivan. She's a cultural anthropologist, the former president of BCDI Seattle, and she writes a number of books on culture. And so that was a wonderful 5-part series on, what was the name? It was wonderful. Somebody help me out.
With the Black intelligence.
The genius of Black children, right? Yeah. Cultivating the genius of Black children, which is the name of one of her books. And so we had a 5-part series on that. Thank you, guys. Also, we gave out the actual book, and we gave out just a variety of resources. So with this Expand EC program that we're starting, updating, what we have decided to do is really support the workforce while we're also supporting DEI, okay, diversity, equity, inclusion. We are taking 60, we're recruiting 60 students. And the goal is for, by 2025, these students to have earned either an associate's degree in early childhood education, birth to 5 specifically if they can, or a bachelor's degree. So 60 early educators. We have some great partners in play. I see Dr. Sheila Thompson, who's on from Mercer. We'll be working with Mercer University. We're working with some of the technical colleges as well. The great thing about Georgia, if you go to one technical college in Georgia and take an early childhood program, guess what? You can go to all of them because the curriculum is, in terms of the content part, is the same. All the course guides around the state in Georgia are the same. So we're partnering with the Technical College System of Georgia, TCSG, and we'll be working with Atlanta Tech, Georgia Piedmont. So colleges right here in the Atlanta area. And the goal is that we will provide educational coaching, which we have done before last couple of years. And before we were not the lead on the grant. Y'all, we're the lead on this grant. Why is that important? That's important because we know our community and we don't have to convince anyone. We can do it ourselves now. So that's the great thing about this programming. Where are we in the process right now? We are this week finalizing the contracts for the new coaches. We have 2 lead coaches who are coming on with us. Dr. Natasha Thornton, who led the program, the coaching program before with us. She also supports Nurture, our publication. And she's just done a host of work with us as a contractor. So we love Dr. Natasha Thornton. She's a former professor as well. We also have, I saw Sharon on, Sharon Hudgens-Beck. Sharon would be our other lead coach. So again, lesson learned from when we have done this before. We want 2 leads in the program. So we have our first meeting this week, and we'll be reviewing what we have done before as a partner and what we developed for coaching before. And we're going to tweak it based on our lessons learned for this program. So we're excited about getting started this week with them. And then we'll be bringing on additional education coaches. We have 2 coaches returning with us from our previous program. Dr. Sheila Thomas, who's in Valdosta, Georgia, but she's been a professor. She's been a department chair. She's been over continuing ed. She has a great background. She works at Valdosta State University, all of that. So we are excited about having Dr. Sheila Thomas back as an education coach. And we also have Lakeisha McClendon. I thought I was talking about Lakeisha on as well. Lakeisha will be joining us again as an education coach. So those 2 lead coaches and those 2 educational coaches want to get the program started, get the recruiting process going before school ends in May next month. And the goal is to start the sessions, getting them primed over the summer so that when the fall comes in, they will be ready to go to school. We're supporting them with stipends. One thing we learned in the last program when we were supporting a grant through coaching is that even though Georgia has a wonderful, robust scholarship program for early educators, guess what? Based on whether they've defaulted on a loan or not, they may not be qualified to get that funding. Also, one of the other issues we found is that the money comes too late for them. By the time the money comes, their chapters behind, they needed their book 2 months ago, right? So we put it in our budget to support them in getting their educational materials ahead of time. Turned in about 3 grants the last couple of weeks, y'all, because I wrote another grant, me and the team, we're trying to get them laptops, because that's something that's also been successful for us when we can provide the technology. So I wrote another grant for laptops and hotspots so they can have access to the internet anywhere they go. So we're just so excited about being able to run this project ourselves and just work with our community doing what we know how to do well. So we're going to advance the workforce. And while they're in this program, y'all know we got to teach them about our people. So that's the other piece, is we want to make sure that they're learning about their own empowerment and how to move forward in this career. Lastly, I'll say about this particular project, there are a couple of grants currently supporting it. Both of them, one we wrote in Black, advancing Black teachers, and also supporting leadership. Y'all, the other one is BIPOC. Okay, so we did Black, Indigenous, people of color. That's important. Why? Because we have wonderful sisters and brothers who may not be Black, but they need our support as well. And so this is why I wanted to make sure we have multiple grants supporting it. So the 60, some of them may be Black. Y'all know that, what does that even mean anymore, right? The African diaspora is just amazing. So Black or BIPOC. So I wanted to put that out there because I know a lot of you guys are wondering and thinking, what is that? What does it mean? Who can be involved in the program? But 60 total. And again, they'll get community coaching and they'll get mentorship from us. Are there any questions in the chat? And Denise, you're up shortly. Are there any questions in the chat? Oh, Lakeisha's on there, yay. Awesome. And so we will be hiring a couple more coaches, probably in the summer. But the goal right now is to get recruitment up, and we don't want any coach to have more than 10 mentees. So again, by the summer, we'll likely hire 2 more educational coaches. So if you're subscribed to our newsletter, make sure that you will be if you're not already. So if you're subscribed to our newsletter, you should get the announcement when we're ready to hire the next 2 coaches. But what we've done currently is bring back our team that we already have working on this particular project, coaching. Are there any questions I can answer before we bring our wonderful speaker on about any of our programs?
Lisa, I don't have a question. This is Denise here. This is amazing. And I was just wondering, do you know about Power Ed?
Yes.
I was going to say, because this would be a perfect matchup for Power Ed. Power Ed is run through DeKalb Scholars, but Christy Moore is over instructional support, and she was just in my office today talking about Power Ed. I wasn't as familiar with it. You know, in DeKalb we have so many different programs going on in all the different divisions. But she was talking about Power Ed being the new initiative to support the workforce while they're earning that credential. So that is something definitely I think would be amazing for these 60 early educators to have the ability to take advantage of as well. So I know that they're really ramping that up over in instructional support. So.
Yes, thank you for sharing that, Denise. Yes, with the plan for the community coaching sessions, some are open to all of our stakeholders. So you guys will see that calendar, those topics come out. You're seeing them monthly right now, but you'll start seeing these particular topics added. The last 3 months were the Good for Me sessions, and you'll hear me repeat that later on and share with you our next session that's coming up this month. But the health and wellness was the focus for the last 3 community coaching sessions. We have them divided up by quarters. So one of them, Denise, it will actually be related to DeKalb Scholars because we want people to know, and Power Ed. Yeah. So we'll get that on the calendar.
Awesome.
We have the pleasure for our stakeholders, so you guys can know, every quarter I get an opportunity to meet with our commissioner at DeKalb and the assistant commissioner. So we are in touch and on each other's radar. And I'm so happy Denise shared what she just did, because there's so much funding. Some of it's one-time funding through American Rescue Plan, and they're trying to figure out how to get rid of it. But
yes.
we're going to help with that. We will help with that.
Please do, please do. I know that when Christy was talking to me about Power Ed today, I think they have just had like their first little group that's kind of come through with this. And so I know this is definitely going to ramp up. So we really do want everybody to take that opportunity to I love that one day. Yeah, never enough funding. But yeah, it feels like, I mean, this is just crazy, but this is just, I feel like we've just got funding coming out of our ears and trying to figure out how to get it out there as quickly as possible in a meaningful way. And I think Power Ed is going to be really fantastic for the workforce to be able to earn those credentials and to receive a wage supplement as well as being paid to go back to school. So
yes, yes, we're excited about that. As we bring Denise on, I wanted to give a shout out to Glenda Davis Canteen.
I know, I was going to do that too. I saw Glenda jumped on.
Yeah, so you guys, Glenda also works at DeKalb, but let me tell you, she has been around for every event that we have had. I believe she's been at every one. Our very first summit that we had in 2019, she was there. She's been at every summit we've had, and she's at every meeting. And y'all, she works at DECAL, and she supports our work and makes sure that we stay in the know as well. So I'm so happy. I just want to give her an acknowledgement since we are on the DECAL slide. And I want to formally introduce Denise Jensen. We go way back to the technical college system.
To say the same thing. It's like, gosh, Beezer, we'd really be showing our age here, wouldn't we? You was Beezer was in Albany and I was in Valdosta.
Yes, 20 years ago. Isn't that something?
I know, crazy. Yeah.
So Denise is at DECAL and has been there for over 20,
It's right at 19 years. I joined right as the agency was being formed. It officially got its start in 2004, and I think Glenda was actually here for that. And then I joined in January of 2005. So it's been a while. Yeah.
Well, Denise has climbed up the ladder in different positions because she's just that amazing. Her current role is Director of Quality Rated and Innovations, Director of Quality Rated, and then Quality Innovations and Partnerships is what she focuses on.
Yeah.
So Denise, without further ado, I'm turning it over to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Beezer. So yeah, we do go back a while. It's like, gosh, you know, one of the great things about my friendship with Beezer goes all the way back to the technical colleges, but not only from a professional level, but one of the things that you turned me on to, Beezer, when I moved up to Atlanta was, and I have to thank you for this, I don't think I ever did, was introducing me to the school that your children attended, which was the Georgia Cyber Academy. And we enrolled my daughter there, and she also graduated from the Cyber Academy. So that was an amazing kind of a professional, personal interaction that was really beneficial for everybody. So yeah, we had a great time with that school there. So thank you for inviting me to be here today. I'm like Nathan, when we attended the summit, it was amazing. It was everything and more than I had hoped it to be. So I'm definitely kind of on board, willing to come back anytime. So thank you for having me here today to share Quality Rated with everybody and just kind of some updates on what we have going on. And some really kind of important news moving forward with the program as a whole. So I'm going to just kind of jump into, see if I can share my screen here and make sure that I share the correct screen with everybody. Okay, so let me know if you can see my presentation here.
Yes, we can.
Yay, good. I'm on the right one. I have 3 screens here working from home, and I always am worried if I'm going to put it on the right one or not. So again, thanks very much for having me here today to join everybody. And I'm going to just kind of go over a few things about Quality Rated. I'm sure everybody here is familiar with the program. We've been around a while now. And so I just wanted to give you a little bit of updates on where the program is in terms of numbers. And then going to jump right into those Quality Rated restoration grants. As we said, seems like there's money coming out of every nook and cranny at DECAL right now. And sometimes it's really hard to keep all of the different funding streams straight. I think in total, we had 19 different funding sources as a result of all of the federal funds coming through the various grants and rescue dollars. So it's really hard keeping up with all of them. It's, you know, I just have the one grant in Quality Rated, which was the restoration grants. And I tell you, just keeping up with that one alone is hard. So I can't imagine just the whole 19 of them that we're trying to get out and make positive change and impact to everybody here. And then just want to share a little bit around 10-year anniversary, some of the really exciting events with the anniversary. Some of them we started the events last year and they're kind of spilling on over into this year. So I think we are probably, you know, one of the, every year you have a pre-K week and there's mental health week, and then we've got week of the young child. And so we do everything big and quality rated. We have not just a week, but we've had a whole 8-month celebration for quality rated's 10-year anniversary. That's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work. I don't know that we would maybe wait another 10 years before we go this big again, but it's definitely put a lot of the just the thought behind where we're going in the next 10 years has been really looking back has really made me start to look forward even more, to think about things and how we want to see the next 10 years of quality rated. And so that's going to lead us into the comprehensive review process and hopefully from revisions to the system. And we're not going to be able to do that without all of our stakeholders' help and all of our partners' help and all of our providers' help, to make sure that the new and improved QR is even better than the system that has been developed over the last 10 years. So if you have any questions, feel free to just jump in. I kind of like to think of these things as being a little bit more conversational than just me sitting and sharing information. So if you do have a question, please feel free to jump in, or just jump on the chat box, or raise your hand, or just kind of take yourself off of mute and just ask away. That's absolutely fine. And so I'm going to start just a little bit with the numbers, just to give everybody an update of where we are with quality rated. And so we can see here that the numbers of programs that we have, it's kind of really been an amazing leap in the last 10 years. When I think, we started with a very humble kind of 200 programs that came through 10 years ago when we just started, to now having almost 3,000 programs that are star rated. And so the really gratifying piece about that is that of those almost 3,000 programs, 2,200 of them are our CAPS providers. And so that means over 52,000 of our children are being served in high quality programs. And so that is really exciting, I think, for everybody to be able to see. You can see here on our graph here, we have a little bit of a breakdown. So you can see that our the largest percentage we have are 2-star programs, with 46% of our programs being in the 2-star. 36 are in the 1-star, and then 18% are 3-star programs. And so this, again, for us is really thinking about quality rated in the way that we really hope that as providers come into the system and they can look at that continuous quality improvement, so that as they continue their journey, they can increase in their star levels and continue to receive the supports moving forward. When we look at our numbers, I think the last 3 years have been, I don't think challenging is even the right word to describe the last 3 years. Probably unbelievable, and just the amazing things that our providers have gone through and continue to go through in response to the COVID pandemic. So you can see back in 2020, as we had that onset of COVID and everything kind of had our shutdown and we was not able to come into those programs, that was one of the years where we rated probably our lowest number of programs. And really that was because we had to really think very hard about what we was going to do. When that fateful Friday the 13th in March, when we got the notification to cease all observations, cease being in programs, it was really difficult for us, as it was, I know, for everybody here. Where do we go from here? What's going to happen next? We thought maybe it was just going to be a couple of weeks we would be out of programs and not being able to support providers. And then, of course, that 2 weeks turned into a 2-year saga of no longer being able to have access to doing the work that we would typically do. And so we did really kind of have to change on a dime to think, how are we going to continue to support providers? How are we going to continue? Is there even a way to continue rating programs? What are we going to do, and what's the best way to meet the needs that we had? We knew that we had that CAPS deadline looming at the end of 2020. We also knew that with the some of the early funding that we had received that really gave a boost to tier reimbursement rates, that we really wanted to have a way to continue to work with providers that remained open and active, and supporting the families and children of Georgia to have a way to be able to continue those ratings so that they continue to receive those higher rates of tiered reimbursement, and all the benefits that were going along with becoming a rated program, the incentives and bonuses that were still tied to quality rated at that time. So as we made some decisions in 2020, the decision was to see the temporary alternate rating options there, which we called TARO. And so in 2020, the only option we really had was what we called option A, which was to rate programs with just that portfolio only in order to be able to earn that 1-star rating. As we moved into 2021, we really hoped that at that point we would be able to get back out and resume our observations on site, and our TAs would be able to continue working with providers on site. And then, as we know, that didn't happen. So we had to come up with some more ways to really work with providers and support the work, the crucial work that was going on in all those programs. And so then that led to the development of our QRVP, which was our quality rated virtual process. And I think all of us can attest here, being in that virtual space now was something new that everybody had to learn, and how are we going to navigate this new world that is going to become the virtual world. And so we developed multiple resources and topics focused around the environment rating scales, the big 3 of the environment rating scales, in order to be able to continue rating those programs as we reach that CAPS deadline that had been extended into 2021. And then looking at option C, one of the directives that we had was the directive that came from above was to continue rating programs and to no longer keep extending those ratings. So that meant that we had to come up with another resource to be able to work with providers who were re-rating into 2021 and 2022. And so that meant we had to find a way to give the option for providers to be able to earn a 3-star if they had previously been rated with an on-site assessment. And so that was the rapid development of option C, which became known as LOVE, which was our live observation virtual experience. And so if any of you had the opportunity to have a LOVE observation, that involved us utilizing the swivel robot technology that would follow your teachers around the room and would allow us to have that kind of live look into the classrooms, to be able to provide that feedback and to be able to give those scores in order for us to rate programs. So the amazing thing about that time, as stressful, I think, as it was for everybody, and as crazy as it was, the amazing resourcefulness that we saw, not only with the providers, with the children, with families, with our own staff. When I look and see those numbers of programs that were rated in both 2021 and 2022, to me, that is just, it's crazy. Those were our 2 highest years of ever rating programs. And for an entire year and a half, we was not able to conduct traditional observations to be able to rate programs. We did resume those live observations in 2022 for the last 2 cohorts of 2022. And so for this year, 2023, we have returned back to live observations for all of the star ratings. So so far this year, we're up to 355 programs that have been rated, and we're on target again to exceed over 1,000 programs. So a lot of work is going on. And I know it's just been a very challenging time, as Beeza had mentioned earlier. Today, we know staff turnover has been extremely challenging, and there's been a barrier for many programs. So that's, again, kind of what I was really excited to see, that new initiative to work with the workforce. So hopefully we can begin to rebuild the workforce and strengthen the workforce with our incentives and bonus programs. The other new thing that we developed during the pandemic, this was directly in order to be able to ensure continuity of care to families and children in the CAPS program, will add 2 new statuses for quality rated, and these are the provisional and probationary programs. And so these 2 statuses really are to help providers who are just newly licensed or are new to the CAPS program, and it allows them to be CAPS scholarship eligible for a limited time while they're earning that first star rating. So if you remember, the mandate was that in order to be CAPS eligible, programs have to be quality rated. And of course, you know that becoming quality rated takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, just as quality does not happen overnight. And so we had to develop a whole new system and a whole new process for these providers who were kind of new to childcare or new to CAPS, wanting to be able to offer those scholarships from the very beginning. And so we developed the provisional system in order for them to do that. And they work with a small team that I have working under me in the quality rated program to work specifically with those providers and with the TAs at the Childcare Resource and Referral Agency to make sure that they're working through a benchmark of progress plan so that we're able to see that they're making continuous progress to be able to achieve their initial star rating. And so currently we've been working with 272 of those programs in that particular status alone. And that's just 3 staff members on my team that work with those programs. On the other side, we know that becoming quality rated is not easy. Again, QR was designed to show programs a pathway to achieve higher levels of quality above and beyond what is expected with childcare licensing. And so unfortunately, when providers go through the entire ratings process, there are times when providers are not able to earn enough points to rate. But in order for them to continue participating in the CAPS program, we have developed the probationary status that allows those programs, again, to be working intensively with my staff to be able to continue that continuity for the families, to be able to continue offering scholarships and receive tier reimbursement while they get back on track and then get back to where they can earn that first star rating again. And so currently we have been working with 138 providers who are in this probationary status. Of these 410 programs in total, 133 of them have already rated successfully. And so we can continue working with programs as they come into these 2 new statuses. So these, again, are statuses that are available only to CAPS providers, and it is really designed to ensure that continuity of care to the families of these providers.
Denise, I see Amber's hand.
Yes.
Okay.
What's the question?
Oh, hi. Thank you so much for your work, and just knowing the focus that DeKalb has on family engagement. I put it in the chat, my question, considering the pandemic and especially early on, a lot of families and providers' concerns around health and safety and constraints. To what extent did your indicators of quality shift when it comes to use of facility, COVID guidelines? If you could speak to that and how you worked with families to navigate the process of, looking at these delivery systems and quality. Thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was rough. I mean, I think everybody knows out there, those first few months, I think everybody, it was a struggle to know what to do. Honestly, it was, what is the best approach? How do we manage? How do we navigate this new world that we was all suddenly thrust into? And I don't think obviously any of us were totally prepared to really know what was the best way to handle that. Obviously, we was following the guidelines as issued by the governor and obviously by CDC guidelines. And it was really difficult to know what was the best approach to take in terms of looking at quality. We did have to make some changes in terms of what we was looking at, especially with the rating scale. So we knew immediately, you know, because we was not able to come into those programs anymore, that there was going to be significant changes, especially around health and safety. But one of the things that we need to remember is, you know, in terms of just the health and the sanitation that was already going on in childcare programs, if any program or any avenue or any institution was ready to take on these new challenges, I think it was going to be our childcare providers. I mean, already they were going above and beyond in terms of the rigorous guidelines that they was following in terms of health and safety, as following those indicators within the scales. But then we did know that we had to look at some of those changes in terms of just separation and shared materials. And so we did know that we had to make some allowances here when typically you're looking at children working very closely together or sharing materials or having those soft toys and soft surfaces. That we knew that we was going to have to make some allowances early on because we wasn't sure what was how the spread was being caused. And so those allowances did have to get made early on, and really throughout those 2 years when we was looking at developing the resources for the QRVP, and then looking at the items that we was focusing on in terms of scoring. We really kind of backed off from really focusing heavily on the personal care routines. And we really focused more so on the big three of the ERS, which was really looking at those interactions, the engagement and the daily schedule, and really not looking as heavily into other areas of the scale. Now, of course, now that we're back in programs using the instruments again, using the traditional method for rating programs, and obviously we are now back into making sure that we're following those guidelines as the scales are requiring us to do. So, but one of the things as we move forward, as we think about the review, those are some things that we really would like to hear from providers as we move forward on kind of different pathways and changes and ways to look at quality differently. So this is where it's going to be really interesting and crucial to hear from everyone that's here and all of our other stakeholders. But I'm going to jump back into the rest of the presentation so that I can get through and share some of that information with you guys about the comprehensive review. But I wanted to quickly just mention the quality rated restoration grants. As we've mentioned earlier, there are lots of funds to be had, and for quality rated, the funding that we was directed was for the restoration grants to be able to help providers prepare and be ready to have those on-site assessments again using the instruments. And so the funds that we have in the quality restoration grants are able to be used to purchase materials, equipment, professional development, and then also include a workforce bonus once a program has become rated. And the great thing about these grants is they have been made available to over right around 2,200 programs that are being rated from cohorts 3 and 4 last year, all the way through our cohorts this year, and including our provisional and probationary programs. So there's a lot of programs that have this funding made available to them. And we really, really want to encourage all providers to take advantage of this. It's the providers who are eligible for this up $5,000 per classroom are family childcare learning homes, standalone school-age programs, and then center-based infant, toddler, and preschool classrooms, but that does not include the Georgia pre-K classrooms. Georgia pre-K classrooms and school-age classrooms in centers are all being funded through different grant opportunities through the agency. So you're going to want to be on the lookout for some of those other grants available for those particular classrooms. So the great thing about this grant is it's $5,000 per eligible classroom up to $50,000. And so that is a significant amount of money that can be spent. And we are utilizing the Class Wallet platform, very similar to Class Wallet was used very early on in the pandemic for the COVID supplies and for health and safety supplies. And so the agency has partnered with Class Wallet to continue a lot of these funding opportunities. And so the thing about the quality rated restoration grants to keep in mind is that there are two what is called purses that are available to providers. And so 90% of the total funding awarded to the program is going to be in the classroom material and supplies purse. And the other 10% is in the ERS training modules. These are online on-demand modules that are amazing, and they are going to be, I think, a game changer for teachers and for the workforce to be able to take that deep dive and get specialized training that is scale specific and item level specific. And so we really hope that the providers take advantage of that 10% funding that is to be used in that manner. And then the classroom supplies and materials, they are a choice of, I think we have right around 10 different marketplace vendors in the Class Wallet marketplace that can then be used to directly purchase those materials, equipment, and supplies directly for the classroom. The great thing that we was able to leverage with the training modules, these are developed by our partners at Branner Information Group. And the great thing that we was able to work on with them, with these training modules, was to be able to get each training module to be awarded state training hours. So all of these modules will provide up to 2 hours of free training. And there are over 175 modules available. So each of the modules is geared specifically to one item in each of the 3 rating scales. And so depending on the teachers that you have and their area of need, they are going to very easily be able to find a training that meets their needs, to take, again, that deeper dive and really understand the why and the intent behind the indicators. Sometimes the indicators can seem very nuanced, and sometimes they are not as black and white as they appear when they're written on the page. And so to have a really deep understanding of the scales and of those indicators and really what the authors intended behind those indicators, these trainings, I think, are going to be a game changer for all of us. So just a little bit of data surrounding the restoration grants. So far, we have funded over 1,800 individual programs and providers, and that is 80% of the eligible providers so far have applied for this funding. And I use the term applied really loosely because basically, although you fill out an application, everybody receives the funding that's eligible. So it's really just a way for us to be able to identify how many classrooms you have eligible and to be able to make sure that we are assigning the correct awards to the program. So it's a super easy application. 20% of the providers have not yet applied. Every 2 weeks, we send out reminder emails to all of the providers. Those emails do go to their primary email address that we have at DCAL, which is their primary email address in the Koala system. And so if you know of any colleagues or peers or friends that have childcare programs, they are going through the quality rating process this year, and they have not yet applied, please get the word, help us get the word out there. This deadline to register for this funding is July 31st. So we do need to make sure that everybody who's eligible, those remaining 20%, they get their funding. As of the 80% so far that have been funded, you can see there we're just shy of $33 million just in this one grant alone that has gone out to these providers. So a lot of money is going out, and we really want the providers to spend the money, get those materials, get the professional development, and really take advantage of everything that is available to them with the grants. The other great thing about these grants too, not only is there all this money to be able to purchase materials and training, but once the providers have completed that rating process and they receive their rating notification, then every eligible staff member at that program is eligible for a $500 bonus payment. And so we have just started paying the $500 to providers who were in cohort 3 and 4 of last year. Those payments are currently underway to those teachers, directors, family childcare providers. And then this year, as we go through each one of the cohorts, as we rate the cohorts, after that rating announcement window has closed, then we will be working with our partners at Care Solutions to be able to notify them of the programs who are then eligible for that next round of the $500 bonus payments. And so the first cohort 1, we are in the middle of rating those providers during April. And so in May, we will be sending that notification over for all of the for all of those hardworking teachers and our workforce to be able to receive that funding. The next thing I wanted to just quickly update everybody on is our 10-year anniversary. I think everybody has probably been hearing that we are 10 years old. Quality Rated was launched in 2022. And so a lot of work and a lot of fun and a lot of more fun things to come has been going on with our 10 years or our decade of stars. So we've created a new logo. We've got a social media toolkit that's out there. We have a QR code to brand all of the events that have happened during the anniversary. I think maybe some of you had the opportunity to join us at the Brave Stadium back in September when we launched and kicked off the celebration with the commissioner throwing out the first pitch. We celebrated the pioneers of Quality Rated with our class of 2012 regional events that we held in Dalton and Atlanta and Valdosta. And we had a wonderful time celebrating with all of our class of 2012, which was our OGs of Quality Rated. Those were our providers that initially got rated from either when we launched Quality Rated in 2012 through July of 2013 and have remained rated ever since. So a very select and very special group of providers we had the opportunity to celebrate with. All of our Quality Rated providers have been receiving new marketing signage. So that includes the newly designed wind sign inserts. This year, we launched our QR10 webpage, which is featuring all of our events and the 10-year anniversary video that was launched. And you can see that webpage up there that has the, that's the web address for that. The really exciting thing, in 2 weeks, we have the Quality Rated week. So April 24th to the 28th, we will be conducting site visits throughout the state with legislatures and senators and decal staff. And so we're really excited to get out there and meet our providers during QR week. We have a QR week resolution. And then we also have a Quality Rated book and teacher toolkit. So lots more exciting events to come up that's going to kind of take us up to that July deadline of when we will officially end our Quality Rated 10-year celebration. So just a few kind of pictures here. This is the pictures from our Braves Day event when we kicked off the Braves Day. We had a wonderful time celebrating with our providers and families and staff, and really was able to get the word out about Quality Rated to everybody that attended the event. And then just some pictures here from our celebration events for our class of 2012. We can see we've got our class pictures here from Atlanta, from Dalton and Valdosta. Again, wonderful chance to celebrate with all the providers. It was a great opportunity to have Governor Dill speak to us at the Atlanta event. So it was just a really, really special time for everybody. And then just a few more pictures here. We've had lots of media events. We did filming for the 10-year anniversary video. We was filmed with WSB TV, and it just kind of has really been a whirlwind for everybody, which is now going to kind of culminate in our House Bill 746 to have a resolution to formally recognize April the 24th through the 28th as being the QR week. So this is just really kind of an exciting time for all of us. So again, as I had mentioned, looking back over the last 10 years has been very exciting and gratifying, and thinking about all the things that quality rated has meant. But, you know, one of the things that I had mentioned on the video, for those of you that may have had a chance to view the video, and I really feel strongly about, is looking forward to the next 10 years. What is the next 10 years going to bring? And so this for us is bringing our comprehensive review. And so this really, what we're looking at is a review process of quality rated. And we really want this process to be comprehensive and methodical, and to really review all aspects of QR. So this is, we're not just talking about a little tweak here or there. We really want to make sure that quality rated is working for everybody, and that it can be even bigger and better as we move into the next decade. And so we are working with our external partners at the Urban Institute, Child Trends, and with Gears. And this really we think of as being the state's CQI. So we, you know, a big part of quality rated is that continuous quality improvement focus. And so for us, this is an opportunity to really focus on what makes a difference, what can we really do to support providers and families and children in the state of Georgia moving forward. And so what you're going to see with this is we are going to look at the entire structure and components that make up a star rating. So we're really wanting to look at everything. What do we look at? What instruments do we use? What do the standards look like? How do providers become quality rated? What does the technical assistance need to look like? Is it working? Are there things we need to be doing differently? Also looking at the supports that providers and families receive, including looking at those CAPS rates and bonus packages. The communication and marketing is really, really key. And then really looking at where is, you know, where are we as a field? Where is early childhood as an industry and as a field, and what is that new research telling us that we should be looking at? So looking at our friends and colleagues from other states and really kind of digging deep into our system. And then I think for me in particular is really making sure that we are really focusing on that equity, the DEI lens, and really making sure that quality rated is working for everybody, and making sure that we are focusing on populations that perhaps quality rated did not focus in previously. So thinking about non-traditional hours care, looking at different pathways for quality, thinking about what, you know, quality doesn't necessarily have to look one way and be one fit for everybody. There are multiple pathways to reach quality. And so this is going to be really key for us to think about how does that look in the future, and the impact that that's going to have on all of our users. And so again, it's really just looking at that landscape. It's really thinking forward. As the providers, you've been with us for the last 10 years, been rated multiple times, and this is really an opportunity for us to really think about supporting that continuous quality improvement and understanding that we are meeting all of the populations that we're designing this system to meet. And so with that, I just want to share our comprehensive review timeline. So the really important thing right now is, if for all of those of you that are on here that are childcare providers, have colleagues and peers across the industry, you would have received an email from Urban to ask about your thoughts about quality rated, and we really do mean that we want your thoughts. So there is a provider survey that is currently out there. The closing date is April 21st, so you still have a couple of weeks to fill out that survey if you've not completed the survey. We really, really want to formulate our comprehensive review and the revision process around what we're hearing from providers, from families, and from our stakeholders. So it all starts with that provider survey, being able to get that feedback. Then we are engaging, our external partners are going to be engaging various stakeholder groups from families, providers, our CCR and RTA friends, my staff here at DECAL. We are going to be conducting focus groups. So basically the first 2 quarters this year is all about information gathering, is getting all the information that we need in order to then take a deep dive into the data. And then in Q4, we will be hosting community forums to be able to share what we've learned from the review, and to hopefully have some thoughts and some ideas and some proposals for folks to be able to respond to in order for us thinking about what revisions and changes we might be making to the system. So you've probably had a chance to meet some of my staff. If you are signed up for our quality rated social media pages, you have no doubt had a chance to meet 3 of my wonderful team members here, Melinda, Davini, and Nieves, who are sharing messages to really get that message out about taking the survey. We've got our listening ears on. We really can't make quality changes to quality rated if we don't hear from our users of the system. So it is really important to us that we hear from you, and we hear from the system. I had an animation next, but I'm actually going to switch over that. And I know we're kind of I've run over just a little bit. So want to just see if there's any more questions that we have, and then give the time back to Bisa.
Thank you so much, Janice. Yeah, and you didn't go over, we went over earlier, but we wanted to make sure we had a chance to engage with our guests.
Absolutely, totally get that.
But thank you, and you too. Look, you were perfect. We thank you. You guys finish your questions. You can feel free to put them in the chat. We'll save the chat, and then we can get those to Denise and her team. Also, we'll make sure we get all the links that we're allowed to share and get those to you guys as well. I know specifically DECAL did not want the organization sharing the link that Denise talked about that went out to the providers. They wanted it to go directly to the provider. So we asked about that a couple of weeks ago. So we won't be sharing that particular link because they want authentic data from the actual providers and not just us as community people. So that link won't be in there, but all the others that we're allowed to share will be in there. And Denise, if you're able to, we'll be happy to share your presentation as a PDF if you'll allow me to do that as well.
Yeah. I think I think the one thing is, I think Bentley had asked that I think we haven't shared the slides yet around the comprehensive review with our board members. So I do know he did ask that if we can wait until we've shared that with our DECAL board members, and then I can absolutely share the PDF with you, Bisa. I can shoot that over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. You I just give her a round of applause wherever you are. You updates, I'm about to turn you guys loose. But I want to go ahead and take our photo. Y'all always know we like to take a photo at the end of our meeting. So if you want to, if you're able to, feel free to turn on your camera and look at your dot. If you're not able to, it is fine because it is, in the evening and you guys might be chilling. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm going to share my screen right quick. You guys look amazeballs. All right. I know I like to keep you updated. So I'm putting in the chat a link to this form. And this form is for the planning committee. We are working on our 2024 theme for our summit. We've had lifting every voice. We've had diversifying leadership. This year it was mirroring the Black experience. So we're working on our theme. If you want to join the conference committee for our summit, please complete that form, and we'll also put it in our follow-up email to you guys. Also part of that committee, we're looking at our community leadership awards. We had them during the summit, but we used to have it as a whole separate event. I know Glenda's been waiting to dress up again. We always like to dress up and have entertainment. So we do want to do that, but we need to discuss that again. So again, the link is in the chat. And if you would join the committee, we'd love to help you, for you to support us in the planning process for the summit and the awards. All right, real quick, some ways to get involved. Again, join the planning committee. Again, that link is in the chat. Also, subscribe to our newsletter if you're not already a member, if you're not already receiving our newsletters, because this is how you stay in the know. Our newsletter will go out either tomorrow morning or Thursday morning. Today, only the reminder for this event went out. The newsletter usually goes out on second Tuesdays, but we didn't want to send the newsletter out with all that information. We wanted people to be reminded specifically about this meeting. So there you go. Members, you can join, be a member. You're a member of the national organization in BCDI. And again, we hope that you would choose Atlanta as your affiliate. We want to feature you. That data, that qualitative data that Dr. Shalita shared earlier from those participants, we get a lot of that from our impact form. So on our website, we have an impact form. You hover over contact us, and this form, this link pops up, and you can share your story. We can do videos, we can do images, and thank you to Tatiana for putting those in the chat, or Monique, whoever's put in the chat, thank you. I love y'all. You know, our goal this year is 23 and 23. So 23,000 is our goal to raise this year. And our donate page is there. We have a variety of ways that you can give. And this is also in every one of our newsletters. If you've missed any newsletters, or you're just subscribing on our news page, you can see newsletters from the last year and a half at least. So you can go back and look at our most recent newsletters. I know you've been wondering, where is Nurture? Where is Nurture? For all of my academicians who are on, I love my fellow researchers, you guys. This is where you can publish. So Nurture is BCDI-Atlanta's peer-reviewed journal. And the next edition will be coming out really soon. Our marketing team is working on the graphic design of it. And that's been the slowdown, honestly, because the company we were using before has just been swamped with publishing. So our marketing team said we can do it. So we're excited about that. So Nurture has been, y'all, Nurture is a bad journal. Let me tell you, it's awesome, right? It's amazing. You can go to our shop page on our website. Again, go to shop or go to Nurture, this link here, and you can get the last edition for only $4. You can get it a half off because again, it's the last edition. But the new edition, I look forward to updating you on that soon. Again, we're just waiting on the graphic design of it. Opportunities with National. So I know some of you guys are trying to figure out how you can be more involved with the national office. Well, guess what? They are accepting conference workshop proposals. So if you have a great topic that you want to present on the page, they have their different areas that they're focusing on for this year's conference, sorry. Make sure you look at those because MBCI has 8 areas that they're focusing on. And if your presentation relates to one of those, then submit it. They also have a couple of positions remaining open. There were 4. They hired 2 new people, 1 research person. So y'all, we should be getting more publications from National soon as well. So I'm excited about to see what they're going to be doing nationally. So we have 2 new staff members at the national office, but they have 2 positions open. So check out their webpage. Just go to nbci.org and you'll see it scroll past. Our events calendar, if you want to see what we're doing, go to our events page, but also you can copy our calendar to yours. So you can always stay updated on our events. We build out our calendar a year, like 18 months in advance. However, we do have some community cafes that are planned more closely, like a month or 2 ahead, based on the people who are presenting. So those are the events that are updated on our calendar. So check out our calendar. And again, you can copy our calendar. We are excited to participate in Black Maternal Health Week this week. So check out our social media. And also this Saturday, you guys, we are participating in the walk. So there is a walking event that we are going to this weekend. It's going to be in the newsletter when you get it. So check it out. But also look for hashtag BMHW23 or hashtag Black Maternal Health Week on social media. And you can find out more information. There's something going on every day, but we're participating on Saturday. Also, if you go to our news page, if you go to the March newsletter, it's in there. Okay. Information's in there as well. Let's see. Parenting While Black is really cool. This will be in our newsletters coming out tomorrow, you guys. So our next newsletter, this information will be in there so you can have this. The next Parenting While Black series session is on April 17th. BCDI is a partner, so we would love for you guys to participate in that. I love the one they had on the 20th. They had a dad who was speaking. It was amazing. You know, he talked about some just topics that were so interesting that you would have thought, wow, we do think that about men, don't we? So I recommend you check that out. On our events page, also our next community cafe is, this is the third and last good for me. I told you we broke them up into quarters. So we did health and wellness cafes for this quarter. So our third health and wellness cafe is on the 27th, April 27th. It's from 5:30 to 7 p.m. And we have the awesome Angela Rosayon who's coming on. She's reading those second two books. We Love the Company, a book about manners, and We Eat Food That's Fresh. We have some free books we're giving away, and we're doing some cooking activities. So check out our final Health and Wellness Cafe for this quarter. And National Black Child Development Week in BCDW is June 5th through 9th. Mark your calendar. What's happening? Well, the national office is featuring different affiliates doing different events. So it's going to be a mixture of events, and they're working on a page where you can see what everybody is doing. So that's in the works. And the theme is Pillars of the Black Community. That will also be in our newsletter. The national conference is October 13th through 15th. If you are going, let us know in the chat. We'd love to see you there. Y'all know how it is when we go. I always get the Atlanta folks together. So let me know if you're going to the national conference. Our next summit is February 21st next year. So this is our 5th annual summit. We are waiting for national to close their call for proposals before we open ours. Okay, in case you were wondering, we don't want anybody confused. I thought I was presenting at the national conference. Well, we'll wait for them to close theirs and then we'll open ours. All right, almost done, y'all. Got like 2-3 more slides. Our next quarterly affiliate meeting is in July, and that's when we do our family literacy night as well, our family literacy night. So children's books. So be on the lookout for that. You can actually go and register now on our website. This is a picture from our last month's meeting. So I want to take one more and then I'm going to close us out. And I will also hang on in case anyone has questions. Let me stop sharing. No, I got too much open. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Thank you guys for hanging around. And I already got a picture, so I think I'm good. I did it in advance. Y'all know we have never kept you guys this late. My apologies, but I just had to engage earlier with our guests. I'm going to stay on for a few minutes in case any guests or anyone has any questions. I want to thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your week, and I hope to see you at our next event. Thank you again, Denise.
No, you're welcome. Thank you for inviting me. I'd like to come back just as a guest, not as a speaker.
Anytime.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.